어릴 적 추억을 떠올리시는 분들 많으실 텐데요. 그래서 그런지 어린이의 감성을 추구하는 키덜트족이 늘어나고 있습니다. 오늘도 리더는 아날로그적인 감성으로 어린아이뿐만 아니라 어른들의 사랑을 받고 있는 완구기업을 소개할까 합니다. 세계적인 완구기업 레고인데요. 레고코리아의 크리스텐센 대표님과 함께 레고의 성공 전략과 비전에 대해 얘기 나눠보겠습니다. Mr. Bo, thank you so much. You're taking time off despite your busy schedule. The headquarters of Lego is in Denmark, right? It has been over 80 years since Lego was founded in 1932.
Yeah, it was. It's first of all, thank you very much for being here. It's a pleasure having you here. Yeah, Lego was founded in 1932 around the Great Depression that was on across the world by a poor carpenter. And he needed to try to invent some toys for his children. Turned out that they were very successful by his children, and he started developing these wooden toys for other children also. And in that process, he wanted to come up with a fantastic name for his new company, and couldn't figure out exactly what is the right name. And he figured out he would take the two Danish letters called play, godt, which means play well.
Play well.
Yeah, and put the first two letters of each word together, which became Lego.
The play well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's in fact the Danish shortening for play well. So that's how it all started back in 1932.
So please introduce your company. The present condition to our viewers.
Yeah, Lego has been through a fantastic development after the company was founded. Then back in the 50s, the Lego brick, as we know it today, was invented, and has been a success for Lego through many years. And then 12 years ago, we had some issues where we had very difficult years as we were maybe not loyal to the brick, but we have today come back, and we are very much based on what Lego is all about. We have for the last 11 years in a row, we have been growing double-digit on global level, and there's only a very few companies in the world who has achieved this, and that is really based on that we have come back to the core of what Lego is all about. Not being afraid of that there's also a modern world around us. Can you talk a little bit about the Lego's brand value and the competitiveness in the global market? Yes, so Lego is quite unique in the global toy market as we're the only company who is a one-brand company. Most of our competitors are really selling sub-franchises and not really a one brand. And we have built the Lego brand, which has made us one of the most recognized brands globally, not only within toys, but among all brands. And we are seeing that on several ways this is being measured. Among other things, we are one of the most recognized brands in the world, and our brand strength is increasing year over year.
So the Lego is used to develop the children's the creativity mostly. So what would be the strengths of Lego for education?
I think it's essential to say, is Lego a toy for education, or is it a toy for children to have fun? And I think it's important that we always have in mind Lego is a fantastic thing that can really help children develop their creativity, their imagination, also their motoric skills while they are younger on how to put everything together. But it has to start with fun. Because if the children do not find it fun, then the learning following afterwards is very limited, and that's important that it has to start with the kids. They sit down on the floor, pull all their Lego bricks out on the floor, and start building whatever is in their imagination. When that happens, then they forget everything else. They are just having fun, being in the moment, and that's where they start developing different parts of their brain, which is so fantastic for children when that happens, and can help children so much in their development. And in their future.
Because Lego is a toy for children, usually you should care about the durability and safety of your product. So what would be the advantages of your product in terms of the quality?
Yeah, I think we have a fantastic high quality on our products, and before going into some of all the technical aspects and so on, I think we need to go back in our history and understand why it is that this is so essential for us. When the founder of Lego was starting to grow the company, his son, what we call the second generation owner, started entering the company as a very young man, and they were still producing wooden toys in these years. And the son thought they were very busy. He wanted to save a little bit of money. So instead of covering these wooden toys with 3 layers of paint coating, he thought 2 layers must be enough. Luckily, the first generation owner was very, very quality conscious, and he went in and said, we never ever compromise on quality, and at that stage the second generation made a sign that is still our motto within the company, saying only the best is good enough when it comes to our consumers. And that means that product quality has always been a key thing for us, because it is children that is playing with it, so they need a good experience. And you see that also by that, for example, personally at home, at my mother's house in Denmark, I have the Lego bricks that I used when I was a kid. And my children has been using them, and I'm pretty sure my grandchildren will one day be using them, because they still work, they still stick together, they still work with the bricks that is would be over here. And I think that is so amazing that the product quality is at such a high standard. And of course we are testing everything about chemicals, etc., to make sure that it's harmless towards children at any day, at any time. And we haven't had a product recall for many years, so it's something we take super serious.
Yeah, it seems like you have very proud of the product quality.
Of course, it's so important. If you're not have a high product quality and take the consumer serious, that's the most important thing. So,
I heard you started to work for Lego in Denmark and moved to Slovakia and Czech Republic, and now you are the general manager of Legokoria. What has been your job in Lego?
Yeah, well, I started, in fact, I'm originally educated within the area of logistics. That's in fact where I have my background. And I joined Lego 10.5 years ago as a logistic consultant, and started working at that. Moved on to become operations director for the former Eastern European countries in Europe plus Russia. And as a part of that job, I relocated to Prague back in 2011. And had then later on the opportunity of becoming country manager for Czech Republic and Slovakia, moving on to Poland, and then I had this fantastic opportunity of coming here to Korea a little bit more than 1.5 years ago. So very interesting.
Lego has a very great the business turnaround story. So Lego was on the brink of bankruptcy about 10 years ago, but now it is the top breed of the global toy market. Can you tell us something about the strategy, how Lego has accomplished it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I always enjoy hearing it because it happened just before I joined the company. So for me, it's one of those stories that is always so interesting to hear what happened. And really what happened was that people back in the late 1990s started worrying, is there a future for the Lego brick? Because it's kind of a very physical play experience, and everything that was happening was games, mobile games, no, probably not mobiles, that's wrong to say, but it was PC games at those days, etc. And a lot of external consultants were saying, no, it will not, the brick will not work. The Lego system in play is not the future.
Very pessimistic.
Yeah, it will not work. So the management of those years, they started looking at what are others doing, and started trying to copy that, and trying to, was basically putting two things together and then play. And that's really where we went away from what is the core of Lego. And the core of Lego is really the building experience, that we call it the joy of building, pride of creation. It's what we call the Lego system in play. And when we made the turnaround, we had an owner family who was extremely brave. They found a young man, 36 years old, working at a strategy department at that time in Lego, and they promoted him to a CEO for Lego, and he had the right strategy to really go back to the core of Lego. It's all about this ability that people should have a fantastic building experience and be able to build their own over and over again, and that has been the core of it. Then, of course, we have developed over the 10 years, looking into saying, okay, if we have this physical play experience, how can we then combine the physical play experience also with the digital play experience? Because we believe that both physical play and digital play are here to stay. But we don't think that anyone wants to just be sitting doing digital play 24/7. We believe there needs to be a physical play experience as a part of this also.
So you joined the Lego Korea as a general manager in April 2015. Was there any special reason for you to take this position?
Yeah, I think what has happened is that for Lego, the decision was made that Asia was a very important part of the world for the future also. So we decided to build our own region and regional headquarter in Singapore to start focusing on Asia. And as a part of that, Korea was also called out as a standalone market where there is full focus and we have all core functions built here in the market. And that was done at the same time, and I was then asked if that would be something I would be interested in going to Korea and make this journey happening. So that was what happened, and it is clearly that Korea is very important to Lego and very important to the Asian market, and thereby it's a very important market that we are really clear about how we want to do it and how we go forward. So that was the key reasons.
So actually, when did Lego Korea start to do the business here in Korea?
It was back in, officially we started ourselves here in 1984.
1984, yeah.
And that was including a factory, because at that time the import duties was so high that you couldn't import. And then we have been here with our own organization still since 1984 and has then developed over these many years.
Yeah, so you, as you told, you have taken many positions in Lego Korea. So I believe you have learned some differences between the Korean toy market and the global market. So can you tell me what the differences are?
Yeah, I think as I see it, then the Korean toy market and probably more toy markets here in North Asia, they are significantly more dynamic than what we see in the rest of the world. The children's habits on how they consume media is changing very fast, but also what they find interesting is changing just as fast. And compared to Europe, this is very different, where children are significantly more loyal to different brands or toys than what we see here in both Korea, but I also believe some other North Asian markets.
So what is the Lego's value that you want to emphasize to Korean consumers, and also what is the Lego strategy in Korean toy market?
Yeah, so it's important that we in this dialogue we understand we have basically two types we look at when we look at our customers. We have the consumer, that's the children, and then we have the shopper, that can be the mother. It could also be the grandparents or whoever is buying a gift for the children. But I think what's also special about the toy market is, of course, the focus on education. The focus on education in Korea is very, very high compared to at least in Europe. And I guess most shoppers in Korea, they understand the educational value of Lego. But what they do not fully understand is how do they achieve this educational aspect, and that's something we want to really work on. And that's about the educational aspect does not only come by buying a Lego box that we have standing here behind, but it's also when you have built that set, then you of course put it on the shelf, be proud about it, but then a month later take it down, put in a big box with all your parts of Lego, and then remember to just pull it out on the floor and start constructing your own creations, because that's where you have a different part of the brain that starts working, where you start generating your own imagination, creativity, etc. At the same part, we also believe that Lego is in fact a very social play, where if you sit down with everything on the floor, it could be with your parents, it could be with your sibling, it could be with a friend, you can, with your joint creativity, you can come up with all these fantastic things happening because you can build it all, and you can play then with whatever environment, whatever you have figured out, whether it's a city where you want a car and a truck, or you want to build a space station, or whether you want to build a robot or whatever. It's within your imagination. So Lego, there is no limitations, there is no limits as long as you use your imagination, your creativity, and start building, having fun in that way. And that's where you develop a lot of the skills that is so essential for the future, that we do not believe there's other toys who offers this unique opportunity. But it's important that you have time to free play where you have fun. It should not be something that's forced, and it should not be something that is put on a scheme, but really where you have the time. And maybe the most important role here for the parents is in fact also sometimes to take time to play with their children, because that's really where you'll see the most happening, because that's the number one thing children want. Parents to take time and play, and if you do that, you will see your children, they will start developing so fast.
So you should start from fun, right?
You should start from fun. It's very important. If it does not start from fun, it becomes another class, and when the fun is out, you don't learn in the same way, and it's just so important.
So how many stores here in Korea?
Of Lego stores? Or
I mean, including you do you have the franchise stores or?
No, we'll be opening the first Lego store on Friday.
On Friday.
This week, yes. So in Hyundai Pangyo.
So how would it be different from the other stores?
Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult to understand, but the stores there is today that consumers might believe is Lego stores is not really official Lego stores. It's various partners who have been doing a good job of operating these stores, but we have two concepts globally that we're working with. One is what we call Lego brand stores. That's our own stores that we are operating ourselves. We typically only have one or two of those stores per country.
Oh,
and
only one or two.
Yeah, and only in a very few countries. And then we have what we are trying to roll out to many countries is what we call Lego certified stores. We find one certified partner where we have a clear concept about how a Lego store should look like, and that's being rolled out. Some of the things that's different from what you're seeing today will be what we call pick a brick. So there'll simply be each brick that you can buy separately. You can also build your own mini, where you can build parts of the minifigures. You will have all the big exclusive boxes, so you will also be able to buy that as soon as they're on the market. So a lot of special things compared to any other store that you'll be seeing across anywhere, both in Korea and other countries.
Let's move on to the topic of Lego Korea's culture. So what is the most important and unique culture of Lego Korea?
I think what we are trying to build here is really to build the Lego culture, and that is very much rooted in how is the Danish culture working, and what are the values of how we work in Denmark, and there is it's a very interesting but also challenging journey, because if you look at the official ways that cultures are defined, then the Danish culture and Korean culture are almost as different as you can be, which is very interesting. And some of the things we are trying to do here is really to base the way we work on trust. It's a very important word in the Danish way of working, that we trust each other, but also that we are open and give people a responsibility to act according to what they believe is right, and we are very little trying to move away from constantly telling people what to do, but more to empower people so they can act and do what they believe is right for their part of the business. And then at the same time really using the Lego values, and again a word like fun is one of our 6 values that we're trying to live out a lot, trying to have fun together also while we're working. We are trying to make it flexible for people when they work, so we normally say that people here, they only need to be here between 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Then they can decide themselves whether they would like to start very early and end very early, or they want to start later and then end later. And also, we also allow people to have some days where they can work at home if they have some work they need to do. We do trust that people are able to do their work, and thereby they can also sit at home some days and do work where they need to concentrate a lot. So really creating this freedom and flexibility. But of course, with freedom and flexibility also comes a lot of responsibility, because if you're given freedom and trust, you also need to show that you can do that, and that has so far worked well with our team here. But that's the things we're trying to work on to get the Lego culture into also Lego Korea, and it's a very interesting journey. And of course, it's also very difficult if you have tried to work in a different way for many years. But something we are working quite systematically on as a total organization here.
I suppose the so-called fourth industrial revolution will affect Lego too. Some people worry if a 3D printer become widely available and make bricks easily, it will damage Lego. But Lego made a platform which allows customers to make their own bricks with a home 3D printer. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. We generally, as Lego, believe in that the bricks we are making are of the highest quality you can buy in the market. And if someone wants to try and make their own Lego bricks at home, we have tried to help them with that, and we're definitely not going to hinder that. They know very well what they are making at home is their own creation, and it helps probably people's own imagination and creativity by trying to do it at home. But they also know it's not Lego necessarily that they are getting. So we have not seen it as something we needed to try and hinder people from doing. What we are more concerned about is if we have other companies who is trying to copy Lego and confuse the consumer so they believe they are buying Lego but are buying something else. That we are much more concerned about. As long as people are aware themselves what they are doing and what they are buying, we are not concerned about this. But we do not want to put any hinder in front of our consumers. But also we also want them to know what they are buying at any day.
Time's almost up, so this is my last question to you. Please tell us your plans to make a better Lego Korea in the future.
Yeah, I think some of the things we are trying to do is always to try and have fun together, and we're trying once a month. We have what we call a family day, where we take 1.5 hours out, where we just play together, where we take the Lego brick and play in different ways, and that has been some fantastic sessions. You will see now, if you follow what is happening in the media here before Christmas, that we have a campaign where we're trying to encourage children or adults to build, help Santa build a sleigh, and send in their own awesome creations. And we had the fun of doing that ourselves here a couple of months ago, and that was a great experience trying that ourselves. We've also tried a digital game where we played with Lego using some of the social medias. So we're trying different creations, and that always generates a lot of smiles and fun in the office. And believing in, continue to work on how to really get the Lego way of working into the full culture, into the culture here in Lego Korea. Something we will continue focusing on also.
네, 어린 시절에 레고를 가지고 놀아본 경험이 없는 분들 없으실 겁니다. 오늘 대담을 통해서 레고가 그동안 어떻게 성장해왔고 어떤 비전을 가지고 있는지 잘 이해할 수 있었습니다. 오늘 출연해 주셔서 좋은 말씀해 주신 레고 코리아의 보 대표님 감사합니다. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.